Okay, so hi everyone, and welcome back to Conversations That Matter. Today we've got Dr. Maya, so we are going to be talking all things about psychology and performing arts. So welcome, Maya. How are you doing?
Oh, hello, Kelly. Thank you very much for having me. I'm excited to share my work here with you.
Thanks. Yeah, so there's a couple of questions that I've been thinking about that I thought would be good for us to talk about. And yeah,
Oh,
just see where we go. So I suppose for me, so obviously we've known each other for like quite some time, but I wanted to know with what you're doing now, like what drew you first to working with, I suppose, more people in the creative space, performers.
mhm. Yeah. So when I think about it, I have actually always attracted these clients.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And so I've always had on my clinical caseload, I would attract those kind of clients. And
Yeah.
when I think about it, it's probably partially because I'm creative myself. Okay.
Mm.
And partially because obviously, as you know, I specialize in all anxiety type of
Yeah.
things, and specifically, I specialize in trauma. So there is quite a lot of trauma and anxiety in the world of performing arts. So I think it kind
Yeah.
of lends itself quite well. And then another thing is, I think it's just the modalities that I use, therapeutic modalities. So there are
Yeah.
some modalities which we call kind of brain body integrative approaches. Within those, I would say EMDR,
Yeah.
brain spotting, IFS. And because I use those alongside with other approaches, they really lend themselves quite well to working with creative people and especially with stage performers as well.
Mm.
And within modalities like brain spotting, for instance, there is a specific kind of protocol or setup for working with people with creative blocks or, things like that. So that's that. But really, what what happened was my daughter is a performer herself. When she was growing up, uh, initially I didn't treat it very seriously, but then she got better and better, and she got a
Yeah.
scholarship to like a specialist music school. And
It's
when she
amazing.
started performing there a lot, I went to see a lot of performances, which were
Mm.
amazing. But actually, I also sadly saw quite a lot of anxiety, like, people even shaking on stage or
Yeah.
avoiding things or procrastinating, stressing. I noticed a lot of social comparison going on, fear
Mm.
of rejection, all kinds of things. So I thought, wow, I have all those clinical tools, that we
Yeah.
could translate and adapt for the world of performing artists, and that would be really hopefully useful. That's what I thought back then. And since then, I've been doing quite a lot of work around that, and
Yeah.
yeah, really enjoying it.
Exactly. Yeah, because I think, as you said, there's so much crossover
Yeah.
between, I suppose, yeah, for both of our backgrounds and thinking of like our caseload. But I think for, as you said, like seeing it, I suppose, live happening with your daughter, with us, like going to more performances and seeing it. Um, yeah, I think that there is, like, I used to be on stage when I was younger, and I think that there's definitely something that helps. I suppose even doing videos like this for me, kind of having that
Yeah.
background, but there still is that, whether it's like imposter syndrome or it still comes through.
I think imposter syndrome is very prevalent, and maybe we can touch on this a bit
Yeah.
more later. But yeah, it's just, you are putting yourself on stage, right?
Yeah, you're
So,
just putting yourself onto this stage where
mm,
I can feel quite vulnerable, I suppose.
yeah, yeah. So it's both your superpower, because without that vulnerability, you cannot deliver the art, you cannot
Yeah.
connect with people, you cannot convey, complex emotions and so on. But at the same time, it can be a trap if you are not very
Yeah.
careful.
So I suppose with that in mind, thinking about the superpower and I suppose the strengths,
Mm,
what strengths do you see in performers that maybe like the public might not appreciate or might not know about?
mhm. Yeah, I think truly the public doesn't appreciate how complex this craft is.
Mm.
I'm speaking mainly about stage performers, so I
Okay.
work a lot with musicians, singers, singing actors, those kind of performers.
Mm.
And if you think about it, they are like, for me, I equate them with like elite athletes. You know,
Yeah.
they have to have the stamina, they have to have resilience, they have to be vulnerable and have this sense of connection with the audience. There is a lot of craft, a lot of technicality as well. So
Mm.
you have to train your brain,
Hmm.
your mind, your
Yeah.
body, and your social persona. It's actually very complex. So if I just kind of try to untangle it a little bit.
Yeah.
For me, first of all, it's
Mm.
like, being like an athlete. You have to
Yeah.
train, you have to rehearse. You sometimes, in rehearsals, things go better than actually in
Yeah.
actual performers. If you think
Yeah.
about Olympians and so on, it's kind of the same flavor, right? So quite a lot of effort is involved.
Mm.
Okay, and it's a very high pressure environment.
Hmm.
But I think what differentiates athletes, for instance, from professional performance is this kind
Mm.
of profound capacity for vulnerable connection.
Okay.
So they, for me, they just don't feel deeply. They have this granular, emotional granularity, I would
Mm.
say. So kind of the ability to really differentiate and articulate incredibly nuanced emotions and then channel
Mm.
them with incredible precision to tell a story and
Mm.
convey a feeling. So this is quite a rare skill. I think not many people can do that, and that fosters deep empathy in audiences. So
Yeah.
it can really resonate with the audience. So that's one strength and
Yeah.
superpower for me. And I think without this, you cannot be a very good performing artist.
Mm.
The second one, which is a skill that we need to build and kind of expand on, is resilience. You have
Okay.
to be exceptionally resilient to actually survive in this very
Yeah.
tough industry, I think. Um, so it's just uh, more than kind of, recovering from a no. And there is a
Hmm.
lot of no's and at auditions, competitions,
Yeah.
rehearsals and whatnot. So it's about kind of maintaining your creativity and your faith and your hope that, you will achieve and you will continue and you will get better
Mm.
in the face of this very objective instability of the industry. So that
Yeah.
then the next job is never guaranteed. And
Yeah.
sometimes you have to go to 100 auditions to land just one role. So you just have to be able to get up and go and again and again and again. So for
Mm.
me, this requires this psychological skill of flexibility.
Okay.
And we can expand it, we can build it, we can help, for instance, in sessions to work on it. Mm,
Mm.
but I think if you don't have a shade of it to begin with, you will not survive, sadly, for a long time in this industry. And then if you think, artists have to be really mindful, so they have to
Mm.
have this almost supreme present moment awareness of on stage,
Yeah.
right? So when the curtain raises, there is no past, no future. There is only the now and the audience and the
Mm.
connections and what we have to do. So they have to have this hyper focused state. Uh, and if they do have it, if they nail it, it's like flow state. So
Okay.
everything flows beautifully. Um, so yeah, so it's kind of almost like a spiritual and cognitive practice that many artists would strive for, but
Yeah.
not everyone can achieve. Um, so for me, the superpower is to maintain this present moment awareness and mindfulness
Yeah.
under quite extreme pressure sometimes.
It's just so much going on
Yeah, I
all at
just
one
posted,
time.
on Instagram about because this weekend I went to see a musical performance of Pinocchio
Yeah, I saw
at
you
the
posted
Globe.
about. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like in such an awe of the
Mm.
artists singing, dancing, performing on stage. And the Globe is an open air theater. It was very
Yeah.
cold because it's winter, and you had people shouting out, standing audience at the bottom, and it's like the theater is all around, like so
Mm,
you have people from every side watching you, and you have to be aware and perform pretty much to three different sides. And you have
mm.
babies crying, toddlers moving,
Yeah.
eating snacks, people shouting out. I mean, me and my daughter were sitting in the audience. There was a child next to us, so there was a line in the performance, something about "we are poor," and the child shouted out, "Are we?" I'm thinking, how do these actors not lose their plot
Yeah.
when on such a kind of chaotic on the stage wasn't chaotic, the
Yeah.
environment was very chaotic, and maintaining this connection. So that's that. So if you think about all of this, you have to be really multi-talented and very adaptive, okay? And when
Mm,
we think about being multi-talented, because it's not like very few people land um, a job, permanent job position, like being an actor in the
mm.
theater or being an opera singer in an opera house, right? A lot of people are from gig to gig, from one kind of freelance activity to another. So they have to be their own CEO, their marketer, their logistics coordinator, creative
Yeah.
director, and so on. So actually, you have to have a lot of different skills for this, and obviously this resilience, communication,
Mm.
project management, um, and insight,
Yeah.
a lot of insight. So yeah, so this is kind of tough, I think. And at the same time, you play a very important role in the society.
Yeah.
If you
I
think
think.
about it, their work is essential.
Hmm.
Uh, Everyone goes to be entertained
Yeah.
pretty much every week. Whether you go to a concert or you see a busker on the street, or you go to the theater, or you go to a comedy night, y- you're always looking for it, right? So they
Mm.
have to hold up the mirror to the society for me.
Hmm.
They have to evoke a reflection in us,
Yeah.
or kind of provide an opportunity for almost this collective catharsis, or just for joy and pleasure and laughter and yeah. So there is quite a lot. They have to entertain, uplift, and kind of be this mirror to us. So it's a very complex industry, and there is a lot to think about when you are
Yeah.
a performer.
Yeah, I think it's been quite some time since I left stage school, but it was
Mm.
just I suppose I was a lot yeah, well, it was into my teens, so there wasn't there I definitely went to like auditions and like as you said, like
Mhm.
getting the nose and
Yeah,
having to deal with that. And I think
yeah.
you can grow up in it and you still kind of choose that as your adulthood, but it's like is that resilience, as you said, and being able to keep, I suppose, true to your passions even when you're getting the nose and
Mhm.
being able to just to yeah roll with that resistance or not resistance.
And
I'm
yeah, and
thinking of the
differentiate between it's a no, because in that person's mind or that panel's mind, I'm not a good fit for that character
yeah.
or for that role. It's not a no to me, but it's very difficult because it can feel very personal. And yeah,
I think and that it does feel personal because it
yeah.
you kind of take that oh like I'm a bad actor or like perform like whatever it may be rather than I suppose that's almost like cognitive restructuring in a way to be able to look at it and it's a no because I wasn't right for that role, not because I'm bad at what I do. And
Mhm.
then I suppose then going into the next audition,
Absolutely. Mm. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
and not thinking about it, it's very difficult. I've heard on one of the, I think it was a classical circuit podcast,
mm,
a story from one of the very famous opera singers nowadays who um, did not land a contract. The only reason why she didn't land the contract, and she was actually told this
mm.
very blatantly, was because of her body size.
Wow.
So she was slightly larger than what they, I guess, wanted or expected.
Mm,
And yet it's crazy because actually she was explaining how you need your muscles, your tummy muscles, and to
yeah.
be able to support your instrument when you sing as an opera singer.
Yeah.
It's not any kind of singing. It's a very
Mm.
kind of powerful type of singing.
Mm.
So yeah, I bet they regret now, but you know, those things keep happening. I mean, I heard people saying, "Oh, they said I'm too tall, or I'm too this, or
Yeah.
it's just crazy because it's not only your vision of that character may not really match the vision of the character of the panel or the casting
Mm.
director or whoever that is.
Yeah. And saying that, I remember when one of the auditions, and it was, and again, I think I was about 12 or 13, and they made a comment about my appearance, and that was the reason. And as a 12 or 13, that
Mm,
was hard
mm,
to take that and
definitely.
be, and then not to take it personally or not want to change that because one panel said that's not right for
Hmm.
them.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's really difficult
So I
not to
think you
take
are
that.
talking about this issue of, like, I need to remain my uniqueness. I need to
Mm,
know who I am as a person,
mm,
and at the same time, not to kind of be disheartened by the fact that I might not fit into somebody else's vision.
yeah. And I think that feels really difficult to keep that and not to let that bother you. And I suppose we mentioned about imposter syndrome, and I wanted to kind of go back and talk a bit more about that because
Mhm.
it's something that I suppose I get as a psychologist. I get it on social media, but I know why, yeah, in terms of with performers, I can imagine it's really prevalent. So
Mhm.
what's your understanding of, I suppose, why it is or like how does that manifest for
Mhm.
performers?
First of all, I have to say I have not really yet heard of a performer who wouldn't suffer from it.
Okay.
And I think we psychologists suffer from it too.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
uh, but if you think about this,
Mm,
uh, for me, it's almost like an occupational hazard
mm,
because here in this craft of performing world,
hmm.
yourself is the instrument, right?
Yeah,
So a rejection of your performance can feel like a rejection of your soul, of your
yeah.
own being.
Hmm.
So uh, also, if you think about it, your work in a field, there isn't kind of objective benchmarks. What is good is subjective to this
Yeah.
director or that panel or whatever composer, whoever
Mm,
conductor. So even the most acclaimed professionals, and I got it like recently, I ran a challenge, a 5-day challenge for which I called Tame Your Inner Critic, and it was
okay.
kind of addressing some of this. But a lot of people who were on that challenge, doing the challenge with me
Yeah.
and doing exercises and reflecting and so on, were from the opera world. And
Okay.
I was really gobsmacked. The most amazing musicians and opera
Mm,
singers were all emphasizing how much of an imposter they feel.
wow.
Uh, so they often talk, oh, okay, I tricked them this time, but maybe next time they will find out I'm really not good enough. Um, and it often you will see people like it will manifest as discounting praise, for
Hmm.
instance, or over preparing to the point of
Mm,
burnout, or
hmm.
feeling like a fraud,
Mm,
amongst your other peers. So
hmm.
from the musicians, like in orchestras, I often hear that you have, let's say, several violin um, players in our orchestra, and they will be sitting and comparing to each other. Um, so yeah, it's in this context of how other people are doing, and like somehow I need to keep improving, and somehow I will never be good enough because
Mm.
the standard keeps going up, right?
And is the standard like keep going up because people are developing, or is that just their perception of it, or
Both,
both?
I think
Yeah.
both. And I
Yeah.
also think that as you progress, if you progress in your professional career, and like I
Yeah.
said, you get to professional orchestra or,
Mm,
I don't know, to a theater company, uh, the expectations are higher, right?
mm,
So it's also kind of linked with how much people are paying for your performances. There is I mean,
Mm.
buskers obviously suffer from anxiety too, but or
Mm.
imposter syndrome, maybe even more than anyone else because
Yeah.
they are there rather than on a big stage. But I think that the higher the stake, the more insecurity we feel.
Yeah.
And the more like, am I really made for this? Am I just kidding myself? Am I just pretending to be this amazing actor or whatever?
Yeah.
So you hear it from all kinds of professionals.
It's amazing because you think like I as you said like I go people go a lot to see different performers and to think that you're watching these people and like you're connecting with them emotionally and you're enjoying it so much but yet inside their own head they're thinking that they're not good enough or that people are just fooling them, they're not really
Hmm.
enjoying the performance.
Yeah, so one of the strategies that I often use with performing artists is to think about that particular performance on a particular day.
Hmm.
Like, this is just a chapter or a paragraph in a book of my performances.
Mm.
And, it doesn't matter, and I keep improving. So one of the things that I often do, and I really love doing, because, my daughter often performs, would be to go to multiple nights of the same performance. And
Okay.
we play this game, family game. How well did they recover? Okay,
Okay.
so we
Tell me
find
more.
we find all the mistakes that happen from night to night, and on
Yeah.
every night there is a different thing that goes wrong, right?
Yeah.
There's always something that will go wrong,
Yeah.
and we just look out for how the performers recover from it.
Wow.
And we then survey, kind of we go right asking people, did you notice that this was missing, or did you notice
Mm.
that so and so forgot a line, or and people mostly don't notice.
Yeah.
So
Because
yeah, so I think surveys kind of from CBT perspective,
yeah.
doing short surveys around the audience can give you really invaluable data, uh,
Mm.
showing that people are not there for that. They are there for connection. They are there
Hmm.
for enjoyment. And actually, I've
Mm.
heard uh, massive breakthroughs in performers who, for instance, if they forget something, they are very honest and they say to the audience, I don't know where I am in this piece. I completely forgot and I feel
Mm.
really bad. Give me a moment. And the audience is really forgiving and they actually really connect with that
Yeah.
vulnerability and openness. So if I'm working with somebody who is very afraid of screwing up, we
Yeah.
we would try to do a lovely experiment when
Okay.
we kind of model that you can make a mistake and
Mm.
nothing happens and you can connect with the audience through it and
Mm.
you can recover and
Yeah.
go on. And it's just a paragraph in the book of your performances.
Yeah. Because if I was ever at a performance and someone said, "Oh, like, I've forgotten where I am," I'm not going to sit there and judge them or anything. You're going to be like,
Mhm.
it definitely that would make
Yeah.
me feel more connected to them because
Yes.
it's like,
Yes,
oh,
that's
you're a
it.
human as well.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's a skill. You
Yeah.
have to, and you need to be brave to do it.
Yeah. I was going to ask you,
Yeah.
like, how much does it take for someone to actually get to that point to be able to say that and to feel
Well, it
comfortable to
depends.
say
Some
that?
people are able to do it right away, and some
Really?
people need some practice.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, I remember in one of them, my daughter was in this opera recently, and she had a fairly mm, big role.
Yeah.
But there was this it was the Enchanted Pig.
Mm.
Anyway, so there was this massive key that one of the characters have to pass to another, and you have to open something with this key. And in the first night there was a big key in somebody's hand. And during the second night, they were like just like. Improvising
Right.
that there was a
There's a
key.
key.
There's a key here, right? And then after that, they were really beating themselves up about it. And I went around, asking uh, audience members, "Did you
Yeah.
notice?" And people who I knew that were in the audience, and nobody noticed.
Yeah. Because
Nobody was bothered because
no.
obviously only you as a performer know that there should be a big key, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Whoever saw it on Thursday maybe saw the key, but whoever was there on Friday didn't know there should be a key, and
Yeah.
they don't give a monkey about it, right?
Yeah.
So it's about how well you recover and how you build that kind of muscle in you.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah,
Well,
so you can have a lot of fun with it and design cool experiments with that as well.
yeah.
It's a flexibility, psychological
Mm,
flexibility that you can kind of almost train yourself for.
mm. What what other like skills or like evidence-based, I suppose, techniques do you find like most helpful for
Mm,
performers?
yeah, for me, like I mentioned, I think at the beginning, any therapy that has somatic element that
Okay.
includes the body and
Yeah.
integrates the body and brain. So, for instance, cognitive behavioral therapy is useful for some
Hmm.
aspects, but that wouldn't be my main choice.
Okay.
Okay, because if you think about it, the body is often the instrument or part of the
Hmm.
instrument or in relationship with your instrument. If you're a musician, it's about how you hold your body, how you hold the
Yeah.
instrument, and so on. So you need to really attend to the body,
Hmm.
and that's why EMDR, eye movement and reprocessing therapy, or brain spotting are really
Mm.
useful for that. Sometimes working with parts, so internal family systems, when we have maybe a very critical part
Mm.
or a part that feels not good enough, we
Hmm.
can work with that. Then CBT is useful for any kind of cognitive restructuring or reframing.
Yeah.
So it's good for rumination. For instance, if somebody is catastrophizing a lot, what if I
Yeah.
fail? What if this performance
Yeah.
goes wrong? Then we can do that. And I've already mentioned behavioral experiments,
Yeah.
which are kind of more behavioral aspect of CBT. So I
Hmm.
definitely utilize them, but I would say more body based therapies. And then I really love working with ACT because
Yeah.
we draw on values and what's really important in life.
Mm.
And especially this issue of enmeshment of identity. I am the performer and this
Yeah.
is my identity. So adding more towards seeing yourself as a more rounded individual, thinking
Mm.
about other values, other activities, other hobbies that you need in your life to expand your
Yeah.
identity and not to be so invested in one area, because obviously if you get ill or if you're unable to perform, then everything would collapse, your whole identity collapses. So
Hmm.
using ACT and drawing on value base is very important. And for
Mm.
those who often suffer with imposter syndrome and criticism, inner critic, but also, when you think about it, it links very tightly with perfectionism and
Yeah.
procrastination and avoidance type of behavior. So for that, compassion focused therapy is very useful. So I
Hmm.
wouldn't say there isn't one strategy.
Mm.
It's always about individual plan for whoever presents in my space and
Yeah.
whoever need my help. And we look at what they need, and then we individualize the plan for them.
Yeah. So it's actually it's like you just made it seem so easy about how you can apply all of those different approaches.
Yeah, but I think there is quite a lot in the space, and I don't want to devalue it because it's
Mm.
really important. So we have a lot of kind of mental coaches or performance psychology coaches. So these are often people who either have passion for performance psychology or
Mm.
people who maybe were
Yeah.
performers themselves. So I know about of people who were musicians or dancers or
Hmm.
singers, and they kind of did a year or 2 years of master's or postgraduate study in performance
Mm.
anxiety, and they call themselves performance psychologists. Obviously, they can't call themselves this way, but I think that the mindset work is kind of the top of the iceberg.
Mm.
So they don't necessarily have the preparation that you and I have, many
Yeah.
years of clinical work to go deeper and to
Mm.
address maybe uh, deeper issues or root causes. So I think performance psychology and mindset coaching type of work is really important,
Mm.
uh, but it's just one element. And
Yeah.
if you see somebody like that, you can expect a lot of practical to do tips, mindset exercises, and so on, but not necessarily that kind of work.
Dual route. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I speak about it on here, like the importance of picking the right person for you, regardless of what you're
And
looking
yeah,
for.
if
And
there aren't deeply seated issues and you want to improve certain aspect, I think that kind of work can be incredibly helpful, especially from somebody who maybe worked in a very
Mhm.
similar field before and they really deeply understand um, your art and your craft and how you show up on stage, which perhaps is not necessarily who I am because I wasn't a performer. I'm just a mother of a performer. Uh, Although it does give me some insights too.
Mm,
But these are different types of things that you can do, and you just have to choose the right person for yourself.
yeah, no, definitely.
Mm.
So obviously I could talk to you for hours, but I think that if we we can come back and do like a longer one because I know there's so many more questions that I want to ask you.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
if
I'd love to.
if people wanted to find you or connect with you, what's like the best place to find you?
So I've just realized that I haven't logged in with my professional account, so you can see. My name is Dr. Maja Jankowska. I guess you will put it in the
Yeah, I'll put it
description
all
somewhere.
in the
Yeah,
description.
so
Yeah.
so I'm on LinkedIn where I kind of publish more research based articles, and sometimes it's kind of aimed at performers themselves,
Hmm.
sometimes kind of casting directors or talent agents and so on, to give people understanding of a lot of issues.
Hmm.
So kind of more in-depth research stuff, LinkedIn, Dr. Maja Jankowska. Then I've just started my own YouTube channel, also Dr. Maja Jankowska, or Beyond the Spotlight Psychology,
Okay.
and Instagram, Dr. Maja Jankowska. So easy. Beyond the
Yeah.
Spotlight
Yeah.
Psychology, to refer to my work with performers and my name.
Perfect. Thank you. I'll put it all in the caption. But yeah, thank you
Yeah,
so
and by
much.
the way, I
Okay.
also developed this kind of free assessment tool. I call
Yeah.
it the Stage Fright Profiler,
Okay.
where you can do the questionnaire. It's quite a comprehensive questionnaire, and then it gives you your profile. So,
Okay.
in terms of performance anxiety, there are different types of anxiety. Again, we can talk about it one day.
Yeah.
And the profiler will give you your unique profile, which then indicates, what you need to work on or which aspects
Ooh.
are important to you. And then you can tailor strategies to your own profile. So if anyone would like a copy of it, they can DM me or they can
Yeah.
just it's in my LinkedIn bio, and I kind of advertise it. So anyone can gain a copy of that. And
Is there a link? Because I can put that in the
yes, yes,
caption as
yes.
well. Yeah.
I'll send you a link,
Yeah.
and very soon I will be kind of providing a course on performance anxiety.
Exciting. Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
we need to come back and talk about that in a lot more detail. But
yeah.
yeah, thank you so much for like talking to me.
Thank you very much for having me, Kanye. I
That's all
really
right.
appreciate it. I just love talking about it. So you can see I could talk for hours and
Yeah,
not
me too.
not
Me
close
too.
my mouth.
But yeah, but thank you so much. Yeah, and I'll put all of those details for everyone in the caption. But just yeah, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, we'll see Dr. Maya very, very soon. Take care.
Thank you very much.
See you
Bye.
later. Bye.